Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students of class 9th. I welcome you in AppScience online support program round 2. I am here with the lecture of English and the week number is 8. The topic of this week's lecture are active and passive voice with present indefinite tense and present continuous tense, and the second part is punctuation. First part, we will move on to the first part, which is active and passive voice. First we will discuss what is the passive. Verbs are also said to be either active or passive in voice. In the active voice, the subject and verb relationship is straightforward. The subject is a beer or a doer and the verb moves the sentence along. In the passive voice, the subject of the sentence is neither a doer nor a beer, but is acted upon by some other agent or by something unnamed. What is passive voice? In active voice, the subject performs the action, like, for example, John hit the ball. In this sentence, John is the subject, hit is the verb, or you can say the action, the ball is the object. So, the subject is actually performing the action. Whereas in passive voice, the action is performed on the subject. The subject receives the action, like, the ball was hit over the fence. The ball is the subject over here, and was hit is actually the verb. What is passive voice? Passive voice is formed by making the object of the sentence into the subject of the sentence. For example, the dog bites Sam. The dog is the subject, bites is the verb, and Sam is the object. This is an active voice sentence. When we change it into passive, the basic rule or the very first rule is that the subject becomes the object of the passive voice and the object becomes the subject of the passive voice. For example, the dog bites Sam. Sam is the object in this sentence, so it will become subject, like Sam. It will come in the beginning of the next passive voice. The dog will become the object, like Sam is bitten by the dog. As you can see that bites is changed into bitten. Bitten is the third form of the verb. Another rule of changing active into passive is that you always use the third form of the verb or the past participle form. The first rule or the fundamental rules are discussed here. The first rule, as I've told you, is that the places of subject and object are interchanged. For example, the object shifts to the place of subject and the subject shifts to the place of object in passive voice. For example, active voice is I write a letter, and when we change it into passive voice, it becomes a letter is written by me. Subject I of sentence shifted to the place of the object, that is the letter, and object letter shifted to the place of subject, that is in passive voice. Sometimes subject of sentence is not used in passive voice. Subject of sentence can be omitted in passive voice. If without subject, it can give enough meaning in passive voice. It means that it is not mandatory for a passive voice sentence to have a subject. Sentences can also be made in passive voice without the subject. For example, cloth is sold in yards. Such sentences cannot be changed back into active voice. Third form, another rule is third form of the verb. Third form of the verb or the past participle is always used as main verb in sentences of passive voice for all tenses. Base form of verb or present participle will be never used in passive voice. Like the word buy is used before subject in sentences in passive voice. For example, active voice is he sings a song, and the passive is a song is sung by him. The fourth rule is the word by is not always used before subject in passive voice. Sometimes the word with, to, or etc. may also be used before subject in passive voice, but this happens only in very rare cases. So keep in mind that we will always use by, because our concern is more with such sentences that use by in the passive voice. Here are some changes of pronouns that we make. The changes, the pronoun I becomes me in passive voice, we becomes us, you remains you, he becomes him, she becomes her, it becomes it, and they becomes them. These are the changes in the pronoun of a active into passive voice. Now here is the formula of changing active into passive voice. The active voice formula is subject plus to be means helping verb is MR plus present participle plus object. For example, she is doing her homework. He is waiting for Davy. They are giving the present. Bobby is drawing a nice scenery. Retina is writing the letter. In passive voice, the formula is subject plus to be. To be means the helping verb that can be is MR. Being plus past participle plus object, like the homework is being done by her. This is the present continuous tense. That is why what are we doing? We are putting being. She is doing her homework. In this sentence, it is a present continuous sentence, active voice, and when we change it into passive voice, it will become the homework is being done by her. For present continuous, the helping verb that we use is am and are. He is waiting for Davy. This sentence, when we change it into passive voice, it will become Davy is being waited by him. Waited is the third form of wait, and we have added being because there is present continuous tense. They are giving the present. The present is being given by them. Bobby is drawing a nice scenery. A nice scenery is being drawn by Bobby. Retina is writing the letter. The letter is being written by Retina. Now we will do some sentences of simple present tense. What is the formula of active voice of simple present tense? First of all, there is subject plus infinitive plus object. Like Simpson cares the line. In passive voice, the formula is first there is subject, then plus to be plus past participle plus by object. The line is cared by Simpson. Anna does the homework. The homework is done by Anna. They sell that house. That house is sold by them. Jessica always plays the piano. The piano is always played by Jessica. She buys a book. A book is bought by her. Here is the written work that you have to do. Open your book, page number 77 to 80. There are some active and passive voice given. You have to do any 10. Then there page number 91 to 93. You have to do any 10 sentences. This is your written work of week number 8. Do it on loose sheets or notebooks wherever you are doing your work, but you have been advised by the teachers that you have to do this work on your loose sheets. The second part of our lecture is punctuation. What is punctuation? Punctuation marks are symbols or sign that indicate where pauses, stops, questions, omissions, introductions, and other forms of expressions occur in our writing. They are known as punctuation marks. For example, when we put a question mark at the end of a question, this is punctuation. And as you can see that this question also begins with the capital letter. That is also punctuation. In this definition, you can see that there are commas after pauses. These are the commas after pauses, stops. Here is also a comma. Here is also a comma. Here is a full stop. And as you can see that the sentences are starting with the capital letter. So all these marks, all these symbols are known as punctuation or punctuation marks. Here are some basic punctuation marks that are used in English language. The first one is period, or it is also known as full stop. We use this at the end of sentences. Then there is question mark. We use a question mark after an interrogative sentence. Then there are quotation marks. We use quotation marks for direct quotations. Then there is apostrophe. We use an apostrophe in contractions and to indicate possession. Then we have comma. Use a comma to separate items in a series to set off an appositive or before the conjunction in a compound sentence. Then we have hyphen. Use a hyphen to join words serving as a single adjective before a noun in number words and to divide words into syllables. We have exclamation mark, or we can also say exclamation point. Use an exclamation point to show strong emotion or to give a command. Next is colon. Use a colon to introduce a list and before a final clause that explains something in the sentence. Parentheses. Use parentheses around extra non-essential information that is too important to omit. In the end, we have semicolon. Use a semicolon to join two independent clauses that are not connected with a coordinate conjunction. These are all some important punctuation marks. You have the exercise of punctuation mark at the end of your lessons. I hope you have understood the lecture. Here is your written work for punctuation. Grammar. This is the grammar part of your English textbook, page number 28. You have to do the part G on your copy, on your books, on your copies or loose sheets, not on your books. For practice, read some sentences, paragraphs from lesson 3 on the use of maximum punctuation marks. You have to practice how to put punctuation marks. You can start with sentences and then you can move on to the paragraphs. I hope you have understood the lesson. If there is any question, you can ask me in the query time.